All right, so let's dive right in. I feel frozen. Where do I start? Kieran, I feel frozen. Where do I start?
That's great. I think that's a pretty common experience. I think that's, none of us came into Cornerstone because we were on a winning streak, as Joe likes to say. And, I think that the first experience I had with my very first meeting was just a feeling of relief. Like, I don't really know what this is about, but it feels like, this has something to offer that nothing else seems to have worked. So, just showing up is really the most important thing. It doesn't feel like much because you want to solve your problems like now. You want things to stop hurting. But sometimes just feeling a little bit of relief just by being around other people that can relate to what you've gone through, that's enough. Like that is just like, it doesn't sound like much, but it really is, it really works.
So I work at the Memorial Hermann Hospital, Children's Hospital downtown, and the CEO of the hospital used to start all of her discussions with that when our children get sick, our lives stop. And that's certainly what happened when I came to Cornerstone. I had a big full life before I came to Cornerstone, and once my child got sick and we were in here, I felt like I couldn't do anything. I was just completely stuck at where I was. And the things that helped me was actually the program. The program was so structured that it made me get out of myself. I wanted to just go home, get in my pajamas and stay in bed and cover and put the pillow over my head. And because there was climbers on Monday, I got up and went to climbers, which was super important for me. On Wednesdays, there was a meeting in Sugar Land, and I got myself up and I went to that meeting. And Thursday, I got myself up and went to that meeting. And Saturday, I went. And so every single week, the thing that got me out of my frozen spot was hitting every single meeting, and that's what got me started and out of my little tiny world. So.
Awesome.
I definitely relate to this. I have anxiety, and when I came in, that anxiety was so much more intense. And one thing with my anxiety is like, it is like a fight or flight response, and I'd like freeze up and like wouldn't do anything. And one thing that I've learned, like dealing with my anxiety, is like, an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest wants to stay at rest. And whenever I am like in that place of being frozen, like unless an opposite or an equal force acts upon that, I'm going to stay frozen. And I find that just once I put one foot in front of the other, like that ball gets rolling and I stay rolling. And so that looked like showing up to where I was supposed to be. I had a lot of girls take me under their wing and show me what I was supposed to be doing. Because those first few months I felt like I was in a haze and I felt overwhelmed and like generally didn't know what was going on. And that was okay. Like there was just a phase where I had a lot to take in. So that's all.
Cool.
I have a great story, and I won't tell it, but it's about how I was supposed to paint our bathroom, and it took me 2.5 years.
That is a great story.
But I'll answer the question. I think for me, showing up was half the battle, and even though I really wasn't sure what it is that I was supposed to do when I would show up, but showing up made me feel like I was doing something, and then a little less frozen and less alone. So if you're frozen, well, one more thing, you have to be willing to unfreeze yourself, and just show up, just show up and listen, you'll get there, but you gotta show up.
Yeah, totally. I think that those are some great answers. I'm just going to piggyback off of that real quick. And I would just say that, like, usually when you're coming into recovery, you're pretty much in a place of despair. You're like Kieran had said, nobody shows up on a winning streak for sure. And so in a place of crisis, there's a lot of value in really focusing on what's right in front of you. You know, it's kind of like if you think about, like, you got this huge elephant sitting on the table in front of you, you're really only going to be able to eat it one bite at a time. And that's kind of where we want to start. We want to start with just like, what's that next bite? So that next bite would be like coming to a meeting, or like reaching out to me or one of the staff members and setting up an initial orientation appointment, figuring out like what the next steps beyond that need to be. But a lot of times just showing up. You know, just showing up and being a sponge in a bathtub and just kind of soaking up all of the strength, experience, and hope and love and support in the room is huge and goes a long way. You know, part of our mission is to hopefully deliver a message of like hope and healing to teens and their families, and that's part of my wish, is that for any family that comes to one of our meetings, or a parent that comes to one of our meetings, if they leave with nothing else, they leave with a little bit of hope. Or maybe thinking, maybe I'm not alone, because this is a disease of isolation that, you know, that we're dealing with. And it can be very lonely, and it can feel like we are alone.